Do you log on at all and watch?
I listen to them. I'm not. I
Yeah.
don't want to pay money to.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had a kid, I would. But if I had a kid, I'd be able to go.
That's
There
true.
you go.
Whoops.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, we better get to the agenda then.
Okay, now we're set to go. We're gonna call this meeting to order. First off, we'll have public comment from any guests. I guess, Daryl, you're not really a guest, you're our associate, so welcome.
Thank you very much.
You bet, thank you. Any comments for public? Okay, seeing none. Do we have any correspondence, Jessica?
Nope.
Okay, all right. Been quiet 6 months or 4 months or whatever it has been. Okay,
Right here.
we'll go ahead and move on to reports. We'll start with the open class with Missy.
Why do you have to start with me? Actually, you know what? I really haven't done anything. I'm so weird about it because I just don't. I just feel like, is it going to happen?
Yeah, you're charging ahead like it's gonna be a regular year. I mean,
Okay,
that's the guidance I'm giving you.
okay.
Okay.
That's a good thing.
Because I mean, I was going to contact some of the music, like Sarah and her band and stuff, and I'm just like, I hate to get them all wound up and then have to tell them no.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that would change is if something happens on the federal side or the state. We have no control over that, so.
Okay. So I think what I'll do first of all then is I think I'm going to contact all my superintendents because I kind of have a feeling there might be a couple of them that aren't going to be superintendents anymore, but that's just a feeling I have. I just need to check on that. None of them have said anything directly to me, and I don't know if they've said anything to you, Jessica, if you've heard anything from me. Okay. And then I'll get a hold of Sarah. That's who I was kind of in charge of getting. And Ben, should I try Ben again for the dance then? Okay. So I'll get a hold of Ben and Sarah and my superintendents and see what I can come up with there. I usually don't get a hold of the judges until April, so should be okay there.
Okay. Okay, let's see, and Valerie isn't on. Okay, all right. Have you talked to Valerie about vendors or anything?
I haven't.
Okay, Jess, okay.
Nope.
And she's not on there.
Yeah, she's not on. Maybe you can touch base with her to see if she's made any contacts or if we need to do something to help her out with vendors.
Okay.
I know we wanted that coffee people that you guys had at the 4-H fair.
Okay.
And I thought we told her that.
from Beard.
Yeah. I should remember the name of it, but I can't right
Cassie
now.
will know too.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I have their card at home. So. Okay.
Okay.
And what was the barbecue? We saw that barbecue one. We saw the trailer somewhere.
It was in Helena, just not
Mhm.
too long.
Yeah.
They're out of Butte also.
Okay, so both of those are RB. I think those would both be a good idea to contact if we could let Val know that too.
Okay. All right. Anything for rodeo? Report from rodeo, Lisa?
You know, they have not met in several months, so I really don't have a lot to say. I mean, in fact, I don't think that they've met since October. And their officers all stayed the same, so there were no changes to the website for that. Their last I had heard, they're planning on moving forward, like there is going to be a rodeo, or hopefully going to be a rodeo. And I don't know if we're going to have a meeting this month or not, but it's been since October since we've had one.
Okay.
I have a goofy question. Was their contract, 2020, their contract up with Jacobs? Or, I mean,
With Dick,
Yeah.
You know, I'm not positive on that, Missy. I think so, but I don't have a copy of the contract. But I think it was 2020, and Vince was the one that was talking to Dick on that.
Yeah.
But Dick has really been quite ill and has been doctoring out of state.
Mm.
And so I'm not sure where we're at on that.
I mean, I'm just curious because, I mean, we didn't have it, but at the same time, that was the end of their contract, is what I thought I remembered.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
we,
I can't tell you other than.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully they'll have a meeting here pretty soon then.
Yeah, I would think pretty quick.
Yeah,
They've got to start moving on some things if we're
yeah.
have a rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
I have been looking through photographs that my sister has taken in the last few years of the rodeo and the fair to kind of maybe update some of the pictures on the website. I
Yeah.
haven't changed it because, of course, she's going to want to edit those.
Oh,
Her name tied to them, and we want them to look really
yeah, yeah.
good, too. So I am kind of in the process of that. It's been a while since I've changed some of those pictures.
Chucky Bob.
So yeah, he's wandering around here. He just got home from work.
Well, cause have you put
I
up,
really don't-
have you put the new dates for the fair and rodeo?
Dates on-
Okay, yeah,
Yes, I did. Quite some time ago, I did. Just
yeah,
because I get so many calls,
Right.
Like class reunions and things like that. So I just put it on there. Usually,
Okay.
like at the end of August, I put
Oh.
up the next year's date.
Mhm.
oh, good. But yeah, that's what I was thinking too, new pictures and our theme, maybe this year's fair theme.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll write that down because I have not put that up there yet.
And have we done it on,
I updated the extensions website
okay,
with the theme and the dates.
okay.
I'm sorry, Jess. What did you say?
I just said that I had updated the extensions website with theme and dates.
Oh, did Jess? Yeah. Well, and I did update the fact that you're the manager on our website too, so that that is all changed over and up to date as well.
Okay.
Okay. Have we had any requests for renting the 4-H building, Lisa?
Yeah, do you want to talk or down at rental?
Okay, we can do that.
Want me to send that? Either way, it doesn't matter to me.
We can wait.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay. Okay, how about, what's going on with 4-H, Karen?
Doing a lot of project meetings. We got through enrollment. We put the fair theme out to the kids to see if they can come up with a fair book cover for us, or get some ideas. And I think livestock is going to use the other side of fair entry. Is that correct? Go through fair entry for the sale.
Yep.
So they're working on that. That'll just help some of the bookkeeping there. So
Oh, it's already on our program.
it's already there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can just figure out how to do it, huh?
Yep. Yep. They're working on it. They had a couple of meetings, and there will be a few more. And so. Yep.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Okay, we'll move on to fair board business. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes of our November 12th meeting?
We're supposed to remember that far?
I have a copy here. I didn't see any.
would move to accept the minutes to the November 12th meeting as presented.
Okay,
Second it?
okay, Missy seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed, same sign. Okay, the motion carries. I'll turn the financial and budget over to you, Jessica, and kind of explain what's going on.
Okay, so I made a few copies. Sorry, Lisa, I didn't have one for you. I didn't have it on a digital copy.
That's okay.
So the report that I ran, it's one that kind of gives you a percentage. So like to the very right-hand side, it tells you our used percentage of what our
Okay.
budget is.
Okay,
And so we're like 58% through the year. And so I thought everything was looking fairly good. There's a few things that are over by quite a bit, like the Fairs Administration. It's in 210, which is like office supplies and materials. But for some reason, a bunch of premiums came out of that one. And so, like $172 of premiums came out of that portion of the budget when it was supposed to be out of a different section. And so the section that all the premiums are supposed to be out of is actually untouched. Nothing has come out of it yet. And so, and then same in the 220, the operating supplies, it's way over what we should be used by now, but that's because $784 in premiums came out of it. That wasn't budgeted for that section. And so all of the premiums were supposed to be on the very last page. It says section 740 awards and indemnities for $4,000, and nothing has come out of that.
Have you talked with Debbie Michelle on that?
I didn't go over there. I looked back in the claim form. It had those numbers, and they were just switched to be the money for premiums. Looking at last year's notes, it looked like it was just switched over last year, and so I don't know if it just wasn't put the 210 and the 220 code wasn't switched to the 740. So I don't know. Is that something that I should
Yeah,
have them clean up?
yeah.
And okay, I didn't know if they could move it over.
Oh, yeah, they can easily do that, that's not a problem.
Okay, I can I'll talk to them.
Yeah, you want your budget to reflect correctly,
Okay,
yeah, okay.
they can do that for you.
okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, so, those are kind of the big ones that I thought.
Okay.
There's a lot of supplies, like COVID supplies from last year's fair. And I guess, Daryl, do you know, do we get reimbursed for the COVID supplies?
Yeah, we're tracking all that, so
Okay,
at some
that's,
point we will infuse all that back in.
okay, I thought I saw a note about that at some point too, so
Yeah.
I just didn't know if there's something I needed to do to,
No, just as long as we're tracking it.
Okay.
Okay,
yep, and most of them in like the description, it says COVID-19 in capital letters. And so, yeah.
okay.
But I'll get with Debbie and Michelle and have them move those ones over, because that will give us a more accurate idea of where everything is.
Right, okay, yeah, and so we have 5 months left to go in this fiscal year, so I think we're doing pretty good so
Yeah.
far.
Yep,
You guys typically start spending towards the end of your budget, that's kind of
Right,
how that works for you
yeah,
guys.
yeah, exactly, yep. Yeah, we have that in June and May and June, and so we'll just have to watch what we're doing, and
Why
Do
did
that.
we have hand washing stations this year?
that was a COVID deal.
Because
Well, okay,
we had to have them,
you guys did.
I think. Did it come through?
I think it came to our budget, but to be reimbursed for the COVID, with
What
COVID.
was that?
Like the hand washing stations,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was like $325, so
Yeah.
it's quite a bit.
You got,
do they, and is the description by them, does it say COVID by them? I don't know.
Yeah, it does, Jess,
Okay.
yeah,
So I think that as long as it says that by them, that's gonna be
okay.
what they're looking at when they
Okay.
go through to.
There were also, I'm sorry, There were also supplies that were bought for the 4-H building for when there were people out there. So hand sanitizer and things like that, because I put the cases away. Josie's the one that took stuff out there, and I would assume that that should fall under the COVID stuff as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of cleaners and disinfectants.
Okay, yeah.
And it says COVID on it.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Okay, thanks Jessica for that, we appreciate that. Okay, back in November, we talked about Fairgrounds Improvement Project, and knowing that there's some money to be available if we can find our own money.
Yeah, well, you're not gonna have to find a whole lot.
And so I know we kind of identified that our first project that we'd like to do is the bathroom improvement and the septic and everything, get that started. I think that's kind of the foundation I believe that we should look at and focus on. And
But nothing's being done right now. Right?
no,
So I think, if I remember right, from the last meeting, that we were going to talk with the rodeo board as well and see if that was their priority.
Right.
If it was, then
yeah,
we'll kind of start moving towards that.
mhm.
And who's
Yeah.
we? I mean, who else do we have to contact?
Pardon me?
Who else do we have to contact on that? Just, I mean,
We're
think just-
looking for your guys, I mean, you're here to advise us, if that's what you want to do.
Okay,
If that's the decision between you and the rodeo board, if that's what you want to do, then
right,
we'll try to start getting the ball rolling as far as looking for grant sources. And
okay,
once we start getting those identified, then we can move forward with whatever the rest of the plan's gonna be, engineering and
right,
as we go forward, so.
okay.
And when you say we, you're talking about the commissioners,
The
right?
commission.
Okay.
Okay. So, and then, like Lisa said, Rodeo Club hasn't had a meeting, so
Yeah,
it's been hard to, just because of the whole situation.
sure.
Yeah. Okay. So Lisa, if there's a Rodeo Club meeting, this month, that'd probably be next Monday, right?
It should be, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we can bring that up, or if you get notified that there is gonna be a meeting, maybe let me know and I'll try to make it to that meeting too and
Okay.
talk about
Yeah.
that.
I can do that.
Put
Okay,
it on their agenda.
yeah,
But see, the commission, we can't instigate the
okay,
request.
right, okay.
You just can't do that.
Mm-hmm,
But the request comes from you or whatever.
in writing though. You need it in something in writing, correct? Okay.
okay. And so once we get that process, that taken care of, then we give it to you in writing. Do we have to submit the grant request to the Canyon, or to the trust? Or how does that work,
I'm
Darryl?
not quite sure how that's gonna work yet. What we did is we hired Great West Engineering as our on-call engineer,
Okay,
and they have a great grant writing staff.
okay,
And we're gonna use them as a good resource to get us going in the right direction.
okay,
So, they'll probably identify the sources of where they feel that there's money at, and then we'll start
okay,
the grant writing process,
okay. Okay,
so. Unfortunately, you know how that goes, it's gonna take some time,
it is, yep.
but
Mhm. Okay. Okay, that's making a lot more sense now, so thank you for that clarification.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
And like for the fundraiser, you know, we were gonna have a steak feed, but,
Are we on to fundraiser?
oh, sorry. Well, are you done talking about the improvement?
Is there any other ideas
Sorry.
that we need to bring up?
Well, it's kind of for the same thing.
Right. So,
Say, when you write your request, do we have to put in there, like, funds, or we simply start with the request?
Start with the request, but see, that was the reason we had the master plan, right?
mhm,
That's really the
the foundation.
foundation to start with, because if you go out and request these grants, that's the first thing they're gonna ask, is whether you have a plan. Well, yes, we do have a plan.
Mhm,
And if you remember in Sean's presentation, they gave us a pretty good idea of what was needed and a general cost,
mhm,
you know. So that's what we'll build it off of from there. And a lot of times these grants include the engineering costs,
mhm.
so we'll go from there.
Yeah, okay.
And there's usually a match, you know, whatever that match is. Sometimes it's in-kind work,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? So we have volunteers or whatever that can do some of it. We can use that towards the match. And sometimes there's no match. Sometimes we get lucky and it's just, hey,
Mhm.
here's some money, let's do it.
Yeah, okay. 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 Okay, we'll keep moving on with that. Okay, now we're on to fundraiser.
Well, I know we had kind of talked about doing a drive-up one, but do you think it's more possible to have a steak feed now, or?
I think it's more possible to do that. I mean, you know, it's just, I would say work with Sean, and he's gonna be the guy that can tell you how you can do that.
Okay,
So, I mean, with your fundraiser, I mean, I don't really think that you guys should have to use that money for grant match money. I think you need to use that for yourselves,
For the fair?
the fair.
Mm-hmm.
I would not plan, this is just my opinion. We'll see what the other commissioners think, but
mhm,
I think that would make sense.
okay.
It might be a little bit harder to promote it then. We'd have to
Well,
somewhat differently, but,
It all goes towards improving
yeah.
yeah,
the fair for everybody.
yeah. Well, we're gonna do a drive-through Valentine's dinner at our church. Let's see,
You can see how it goes.
see how that goes.
I think it might go well.
Yeah, I hope so. We've got,
Okay. So should we look at like first part of June?
well, we were
Shoot for
looking
that.
at kind of the middle of
Middle of
June
June.
last time. And the first Saturday is what, the 5th?
Mhm.
So it'd be 5, 12, 19.
Or 6/13?
Isn't
I
it
can
the-
tell you that I have things scheduled the first 3 weekends in June out there.
Okay,
They're not using the 4-H building, but you are going to have, excuse me, you're going to have a crowd out there.
is one of them the roping, though, Lisa?
The first weekend is a roping. The second weekend is an ATV thing by the chamber. And then the third weekend is a group out of
Whoops.
Helena that's going to do some mounted shooting in the big arena.
Well,
And I don't know how big that one would be, but like Roundup Roping, that's usually a pretty good chunk of people. And then the chamber, the reason it's out at the fairgrounds this coming year is because it got so big where they were
right.
there in town. And
I
so
just
they
wonder
needed
if
more
that would be
space, so-
a good combo. Did you do it that one year, Jess? Did you do the ATV run?
Yes, I did it the last 2 years that it was held.
And, I mean, do you think people would come over and buy a steak, or?
Yeah, because, most people, it started in town, and they would park and they'd go into I think one of the years they were selling some food in the Betsy, when the Betsy was emptied. But yeah, I think a lot of them stick around, because a lot of people come from out of town for them.
Right.
And so,
I mean, maybe it wouldn't have to be steak either. Maybe you could make it a lot easier. Barbecue beef or whatever. Something a little more simple, and because they're like really dirty when they get done, aren't they?
yes.
And maybe we should, reach out to the chamber too, in case
Yeah.
they have other things planned. With it,
Right.
'cause I have no idea on that.
Yeah, they might have an awards thing planned afterwards or something.
Right.
I don't know.
Or some sort of a dinner fundraiser
Sure.
already.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Okay.
Okay, so it might be either the third weekend or the fourth weekend, probably the best possibility right at this point in time until we find out from Chamber.
And I can reach out to the chamber, that's no problem.
Okay.
Who is the president of chamber now?
I don't know. I think some of that has changed because Debbie was involved with the chamber, and that's who I was dealing with prior to her becoming a commissioner.
Sure.
And so I know that she had to kind of
Bonnie Leon, maybe?
Oh,
change
Okay,
some
well-
of her board assignments and stuff. So I'll have to check that out, and I'll just contact Debbie and see if she can put me in contact with somebody.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Missy, do you want to just kind of plan with Lisa on, after talking with Chamber, just kind of get some more groundwork done before our next meeting? We'll do
Sure.
that, okay. Okay, we'll continue working on that as well then. Any other comments on that? Okay, any other old business that we need to bring up? Okay, we'll go on to new business. We'll start with 4-H building rentals.
Okay. I did take some money into just today. I have been renting the kitchen out to Rex. I did 3 times, and he's just using the kitchen for a couple of hours, so I figured $50 rather than. And we had done that previously as well, and I figure it's more than covering the electricity in that, because he's using the ovens and the fridge for a little bit. I do have. It's actually the county that's using the 4-H building more than anything, so we're not gaining anything. We're not getting any payment. We've held court out there once. I've got a couple more that are scheduled unless they get resolved prior. I do have a wedding scheduled in April that she is working with Sean. Anybody that has called, I've made sure that they have Sean's email address and that they have to have an approved plan before any event happens. Let's see, we've got small meetings is a lot of what we've got right now, and 4-H kinds of things. Not a lot on the books. I've got more stuff outside than inside. That's about it, really. We've had some inquiry, but nothing has materialized.
Okay. Everybody's
We
waiting to
did
see what's
have-
gonna happen.
That,
I know,
that,
it's crazy.
that one check was for an archery shoot, and then we had a family rental, and then Rex. So that helped make things look a little bit better when it comes to the rental fees.
Okay. Okay. All right, thanks.
Yep.
Okay, we'll go on to 2021 fair entertainment, possible concert, and vendors. Thoughts?
Have you contacted anybody, Jess?
I did reach out to El Wincho, and I just had found the contract that they had sent to Josie last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just asking him, like, pretty much like, has anything changed fee-wise? And he said he went over the contract and they would honor the same fees that that they had done the contract for last year. And so, and then we'd have to, I talked to Marty Severson too. So El Wincho was $1,500 was their contract, but we had to provide sound, stage, and lights, I believe it was. And Marty said $2,250 was his fee for that and setting it up. And so I think that was I think that was what it was last year too, from what I remember from reading through old meeting minutes and stuff. And then, let's see, I found the invoice for the inflatable fun zone. I did not call them to see if prices changed on them, but last year's invoice amount was $3,150, and that was for 3 a zip line, a water walkers, and bounce houses for 2 days. And then it also said that the event will provide hotel rooms for 3 nights. So I don't think that's included in that $3,150. And so I was just kind of looking at what the fees we were looking at overall for those kind of things were anyways. But no, I did not contact them to see what their prices were these days.
It's kind of spendy.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, and that would be a tougher one, you know, like the water walkers and stuff like that, unless things.
Right.
Yeah, I'm wondering
If
a
we
lot of
even go
places
there.
are allowing them.
Yeah.
As usual, I have a concern about the amount of space that they're going to be using. And so I don't know if that was included in their information, Jess, or not, but I think we really need to look at that too and decide if we decide that we're going to use them, do we need 3 or can we go down to 2 and save some space for parking and that kind of thing?
I would have to go through the old emails, because all the old emails are in the email list still. And I think that one of them, they were talking back and forth about what the size footprint that they would need for each of the activities, I guess. But I would have to look back and see what they had said about them. Or I can call them and ask again and see if it's something that's even available. If they're looking at anything like that being available for this year or not.
Okay. Yeah, find that out, Jess, and then maybe email us and let us know what you find out. And so if we need to make a decision quicker than our next meeting on that.
Space usage and money?
Yeah.
Is that what we want
Yeah.
to know?
Right,
Okay.
yeah. I just try to figure out how we can justify paying for all that without charging like a
Fee.
fee to the kids who want to do that, and
Yeah,
not make it a lot, but you know, like a 1-day wristband or a 2-day wristband, and or I guess a wristband each day, I guess might be the best way to do that, and
yeah.
just to help cover the cost of that.
Are those the ones that were at the Fall Fest a couple of years ago, Jess?
I don't
Was it
know.
Fall Fest?
I don't know if they were at the Fall Fest, but we did have the Water Walkers once before.
Right.
And then we had something else, and I don't remember what that other one was. I'd have to look back in my notes. And the Water Walkers took up a fair amount of space,
No.
and they had to bring, if I remember correctly, they had to bring a generator to run that one.
Mm-hmm.
And because we didn't have the power source to be able to take care of that.
Sure.
Yeah, or was that the year that we used the fire district's big generator?
Oh, yep, I think
Okay.
you're right, John.
Yeah, because I know Ed brought his water tanker, one of the water trucks out to fill the deal up
Yes,
with water
that's
as
what
well.
it was, yeah.
Okay, so
And
maybe
then when
I'll
they
ask
let the
them-
water out, then it flooded the
Yeah.
commercial building
Flooded
because
the
they
building.
just kind of let it go.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask them for more information on the energy needs too.
Yeah.
yeah,
Power
okay.
needs. So that we know.
Right, okay.
Well, I mean, our theme is saddle up for fun. Maybe we should have something different, like pony rides or something more.
You know, we had the lady from Helena that had the pony rides. Oh, darn. I can't think of her name. Anyway, it was like Samson? Something like that was the
Yes.
last name.
I think I remember that too. Like Samson Farms or.
Yeah. And she was a super nice gal, she and her husband, and they had ponies. We just put up a round pen for them.
I remember that. Well, I mean, I'm just
And,
saying that would go
yeah,
with the
and it
theme.
seemed to work
We can
really
think
well,
about
and,
that
You know,
too.
there were a lot
Yeah.
of kids that were lined up
Mm-hmm.
to do it.
Yeah.
And did she charge? Like, did she just charge the kids to do it?
No. I think we paid the tab on that, and then the kids could ride. And she had a time limit, so they could be on there. Let's say, I don't know what it was, but say it was 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and then they had to get off, and then the next kids that were in line.
Yeah. If we have chuck wagon races or something wild. Chariot races, come on, anything. Something fun and different and new.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We can check.
Way back in the day, they used to have a Pony Express race from
Yeah.
Gaithersburg to Townsend.
Yep.
I remember that.
Robin can tell us all about that.
They would have to have the cowhide drag, you know, remember that?
Yeah.
Always-
Yeah.
Somebody got barked up on those once or twice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, and I know last year we had quite a few vendors who were willing to, newer type vendors that we had made contact with, and so hopefully Valerie has that list and we can still make contact.
I'm sure she has it.
Yeah. Okay. So, anything else that we need to discuss right now, or just see what we can find out and give us some options?
Yeah, so I mean, is that the plan we're kind of looking at, is the concert and everything like we were last year?
I think so.
so. I think we should try it.
Okay. It
And
seemed
then
like
we,
you guys had most of the details kind of ironed out last year,
Yeah.
so, But then, I remember there was a few things on the minutes, like, at the concert, I think wrestling was gonna do concessions, if concessions can be opened
Oh,
during it, and seeing if rodeo, if their license would let them serve beer that night or not.
right,
Do
they
you
had to
remember that
extend
being
their
there?
days of, because they only have it for like 4 days, so they'd have to get a 5-day one or something, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. You might want to mention that, Lisa, at rodeo, if you guys remember.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's see what we can come up with on some entertainment during the fair, and I know Missy's gonna work on a couple things there too with open
With the
class.
STEM activities for the kids, yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
We were going to try to get somebody to play bingo, though, remember? Because, like, Colette Hone wanted to do it, but Claudette,
Claudette, that's right, she did. She
remember?
mentioned something about
But
that.
somebody else must have a bingo system, or does the Legion? Would the Legion come down and play bingo or something? Do you think? I mean, it's entertainment.
Mhm.
We're gonna like do it at noon every day, but could do it at noon on Saturday for an hour or so, looks like. But Saturday's when Sarah needs to be put in there too. So it looks like she'd have to go in about they'd have to go in about 1 o'clock. And play for an hour and a half or two,
Mhm.
right up until the dinner. Can I tell Sarah that? Can we put Sarah in there? Do you guys think that's a good, I mean, she needs to come on Saturday because they're coming from Missoula.
Probably until even the start of the livestock sale, what do you think?
Yeah, they probably could go from 2 to 4 instead. I think we can only afford about 2 hours of them.
I got it.
So, yeah.
So 1 to 3 or 2 to 4, depends.
Probably 1 to 3.
You want to try
What
one
does
to
she run,
what's
price
that?
wise?
I don't want to tell you wrong. I have it written down somewhere, but I'll look for it here in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. What do you think, Karen? Do you think go over the dinner? I mean, if people are going to eat, they can always eat and bring it back over there too, or grab their. Well, not really, because you want to stay in the barn.
Right.
So do you think 1 to 3 is better than 2 to 4 for you guys?
Yes.
I think definitely done by 4 so that you don't have the conflict of noise
Mhm.
also from the out to.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend 1 to 3.
Or I guess we could go 1:30 to 3:30 too, and then if we were playing bingo, then at noon, you know, a little bit of setup time
Mhm.
and takedown time. How about 1:30 to 3? Just put 1:30 to 3 for now, 3:30
Okay.
for Sarah. And then if we can find somebody to do bingo at noon to 1, that gives Sarah half an hour to set up. And then a half an hour before the sale, she'll be done. Do we want to do we were going to do Ty Steele was going to DJ that for us last year. Or do we want
I think a DJ is
is fine.
fine. I would not, I would not spend a lot of money
Okay,
there.
all right.
Um,
That's what I kind of
there-
get to
The kids
thinking.
will be happy with
Yeah,
just an activity. I mean,
so we need to ask Ty
It doesn't
again.
have to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
who are you hoping, I guess, like Sarah 1:30 to 3:30? Like, who is the intended audience? Because I'm just thinking like the kids and the parents, like all the 4-H, they will be busy. So
Yeah.
none of them will be out there to support her.
Right, but we're trying to get people,
Right, you're trying to get
other
the-
people to come
Yep.
to the fair.
Yep.
you know.
But then what do they do, like, from 3:30 to 7? I mean, maybe browse? I mean, I guess I'm
Or
just-
eat somewhere. Hopefully they'll
Okay.
walk around and eat dinner and then go to the rodeo.
Okay.
As I would hope. Hopefully they wouldn't be in the barns bugging you.
Well, it doesn't, no, I just, you want people to come and stay, and so I
Yeah.
guess
Right.
that's,
Yeah,
Get them out there early afternoon and hopefully they'll stay throughout the evening and that's
Yep.
what the
Yeah.
goal is.
we'll be shuffling kids back in the barn.
right, because they're on the music.
Okay.
Okay, so we're talking schedule as well here. Anything else that we need to address on the schedule?
Are they going to do cow pie bingo again, do you think? Because that's a big fundraiser for them. I suppose they probably
Possibly.
are.
Is that for the Bulldogs to London? Is that who does it? or-
Broadwater Social Services.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's usually Broadwater County Social Services.
Yeah.
I can inquire,
Okay. Are you on that?
yeah.
I just kind of wish we had something that would get like the teenagers down there Friday night too. But you know, I mean, most of them aren't going to come down for stick horse rodeo. Be kind of interesting to see if we can find something there for the teens. Do any of them have a band? Is there any kids in a
Would she play on a Friday night?
Sarah? Well, I mean, I can ask her. She just said it was easier because
Well, maybe we can find someone else to fill in Friday night. I don't know of any bands, but
I did have a guy call. He called actually on the phone, not an email.
this is good.
Eric Holder and Co. He's a freshman at MSU, and they just got a new band together. He played a live stream for Bozeman Hot Springs. So he was asking like an opening act or like a time filler type thing. But I don't know what kind of fees are a lot or not. But he said like there's a $200 base fee and a $300 hourly rate. Is that a lot?
Well, I mean, we.
And so I just Googled him, and I did find like some videos of his live stream that the Bozeman Hot Springs did.
Uh-huh.
I didn't think it was great, but I didn't know what that price range, like that's what you get. I don't know what the price ranges are for entertainment.
Just how many people are in the band or anything like that?
There was 5.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a terrible price, really.
Wow.
I don't think-
No.
And so, if you guys want me to, I can email you, or you can just get on the Google and Google Eric, E-R-I-C, Holder, H-O-L-D-E-R, and Co. But I thought that it was great that he actually phoned.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, you get a lot of them through the email,
Yeah.
so.
Because, I mean, something like that, like Friday afternoon from, like, say, I don't know, 4 to 6 or 4 to 6:30 or till the
Yeah.
rodeo starts.
Yeah.
So like for 2 hours of him, it would be $800.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's cheaper than what Ben charges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Ben's really good.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's true, but,
And he said like they do, I think that what did he say? He does covers of countries, he does his own country and like some pop type things. So I think if we wanted, tell him what we want him to play, they would play more of that kind of stuff. But
okay.
That's something to look into, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. Any other ideas, Jessica, that you're working on, or thoughts?
There's all sorts of things that come into the email, all sorts of acts and stuff.
Really?
There's like a seal show that you can get.
Okay. How would that work?
Big pools.
Yeah.
I don't think we have room for that.
Yeah. This
and
isn't
there's-
SeaWorld.
Yeah, there's all sorts of like magicians and stuff that send postcards and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. I had one that came through the other day. It was like a guy that pretty much just walks around in like costumes, like inflatable T-Rex or whatever. And yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of things like that. It's just you kind of wonder how they're actually going to be. It's hard to know without seeing them do their acts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Do you know any balloon tires for the little kids?
nobody's a one-man band around here.
Yeah, really. Tie balloons, play a little
Last
piano.
balloon tire I knew was George
George
Morrison.
Morrison.
He's been gone for a few years.
Yep.
What would be a reasonable amount of money for that line, like, to spend? I mean, for the entertainment overall, like, what kind of budget do we
For like all of the under the tent people, or
just, and for the kids? As far as, I mean, what do we try and keep it around? What does budget allow, I guess is.
Well, in the past, I know we've been between 2,500 to 4,000. We've tried to keep it around there, total, for
Okay.
everything.
Okay.
But then the rodeo was going to help us pay for some of the El Win show, right?
Right.
So should we not include that, or?
I think we should, just in case.
Yeah.
and we were going to charge to get in, right,
Mm-hmm.
for the Elwin show, so that does help offset it.
Right.
I'd have to go back and, I know before Josie and Jessica came on, the last year we actually went over budget for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
After it's all said and done and I was reviewing the books, it was over the budget.
Well, like those water walker things, that would.
You know,
Those were
and the whole thing
pricey.
right there.
Yeah,
So unless,
Right.
I mean, I know like it's nice for there to be free activities to bring people out there, but that's tough on the budget.
Yeah.
When you look at that.
Well, I mean, they charge at the Fall Fest, and they don't seem to have any problems getting kids to do those,
Yeah.
No, if you can get the crowd,
Yeah.
I just was curious, because I mean, between, even if you did, I mean, that plus Sarah plus, it adds up really fast.
Oh, yeah.
right.
So we just need to get more information on costs and then decide what we can afford.
So what we'd be looking at paying for the DJ, for Sarah, possibly something for Friday night. What else, what's else on here that we pay for? Do we pay for the STEM activities? Or-
Well, we're just gonna kind of do them ourselves, but there will be some expense for some of the
The supplies.
supplies, yeah.
Okay,
And I don't know, Jen thought maybe a couple $100 if I remember her saying that right, but you know, 200 to 300, and that's pushing it.
Mhm.
That's probably max on
And-
that, because she has so much of it and already at her preschool. So,
do we ever look for sponsors?
well, and that was
Like
that was
sponsors?
something we did talk about.
Yeah.
Since we're not doing the book, you know, because we used to get sponsors for the fair book.
Uh-huh.
But then Josie's like, well, why don't I just do that here in the office and save ourselves that money? And then we could, if people wanted to sponsor, then they could sponsor like some of the STEM projects, or they could sponsor the DJ, and so then
Yeah.
we did split up and say, okay, who's going to talk to who? Remember that, Lisa? I think you had that list, and we kind of picked off the list as to who we were going to talk to. And,
Yeah.
you know,
And I still have that list.
okay. You know, and just approach them as, would you like to be a sponsor at the fair?
Mhm.
And then I think we were going to make our own thank you posters or something, weren't we?
Well, you know, what we did before, and I think we would have to kind of explore that, but like, I had schedules printed by Shoppers because they have one of those big printers.
Oh, yeah.
And they just donated that. But if we were doing big thank yous like that, I think we would have to, you know, that's pretty expensive printing,
Yeah.
actually. So we might have to explore that a little bit more. But we also want to make sure that those people that are donating are getting the coverage that they deserve, too.
Right. Right. So yes, Jess, we did talk about doing that just so we could help pay for some of the entertainment.
Okay,
Yeah, so, okay, talking about sponsors, if we ask them if they want to sponsor the fair book, and even though it's not costing us really anything to put that into the fair book, their advertising, then we could use that. Could we use that? I mean, just a thought, I'm just trying to think how we could,
If we asked them to help sponsor the concert, then that gives us more opportunity to give them recognition.
right,
I mean, they could be on the ticket, they could be, I mean, I don't know, I mean,
Right.
right,
yeah,
signs.
mm-hmm,
Mm-hmm.
sure.
And maybe they have a sign we could just put up for them. I don't know. Maybe they have some of their own
That's
signs.
true. You know, a
Yeah,
lot of
some-
businesses do have their own signs, so
Yeah.
you know, we might be able to just do something like that. You know, and like Karen said, you know, if they're sponsoring the concert, you're going to announce that, hey, this concert was made available to you because of this donor, this donor, this donor.
Right.
You know, and they're going to hear that. We're going to put something on the tickets or a sign or something, you know, so they're going to get some decent coverage. You know, and the other thing is I can do a write-up for Larry, and he can announce it at the rodeo, too.
Yeah. And we could put it on the website.
Put it on the radio.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and the Facebook page, and
Yeah.
we would definitely do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I move that we ask some of the businesses if they would like to help sponsor our concert at the fair this year
And other activities.
and other activities.
Okay.
Yes.
I gotta get that in there, make sure that everything's covered.
They would just like to be a sponsor at the fair this year. How's that sound?
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Karen seconds?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay,
Oh, go ahead.
okay. Any
Now, question,
Yeah,
do you want me to forward that list that we used previously to everybody and just make it a Google Doc so that you can go in and you can say, hey, I'm going to take these 3 and somebody else can sign up for the next 3 or whatever?
sure.
How do you want to handle that?
Well, because I thought some of the superintendents were going to take some of them too and kind of help on that. So I need to have a
Were they?
meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So could we start with the superintendents helping, like, just send me the list?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you just share it with everybody though, then
Yeah.
if you, then we can,
Yeah, I'll email everybody the list that we used a couple of years ago for the advertising in the book.
And do you guys usually do like you just ask them and they give what they can give? Or do you guys
Yes.
do like, so not like a certain amount, right? They just give what they can give and,
Well, I mean, I don't know if they would rather have a specific amount or if,
I think you should have levels of some
yeah,
sort.
like 500, 250, 150, or choice.
yeah.
Yeah.
You could have your levels, your platinum, your gold, your silver, that kind of thing, and say, and- maybe I have a suggestion then. If we're going to make these levels, I think we need to maybe make some determination as
Right.
to what those numbers are
Right.
before we turn this out to the superintendent, so that they've got a clearer
Yeah.
guideline, I guess.
Right.
And maybe what the business gets in return. I mean,
Right.
maybe they get a
Right.
say
We have to
what
have a
they're
list
gonna
of
give.
Lisa, from that
Pros
list, Lisa, do you have from that list what the levels were for the advertising in the fair book?
Well, they were,
Let me look here.
I thought they were 150 and 25.
Yeah, 25 was the lowest.
Yeah.
And we actually adjusted those prices because they were higher the previous year. And because like you had, the back page was $200 and we actually sold it for $150 2 years ago because we just felt like that was a little steep. People were hurting and financially, and so we adjusted a little bit. So let's see. See if I can find that.
I can look into what, I'm on the baseball board, and, we do sponsors normally. We haven't had to for a couple of years, but they get a sign on the field fence, And the last ones that Jackie had made, they were like a plastic material. It almost looked like a greenhouse, like, the inside was hollow. And printed on it. I can ask her what those cost to print, and then we could say you get this sign, and we could put it maybe along the outside fence as people come in by the ticket booth or something.
Yeah, somewhere where
You know,
they
so like
see it.
this $100 sponsor, you get this sign. $50 sponsor, you get, I don't know what else maybe on the ticket. And a
Yeah, or
$25 sponsor.
two announcements at the rodeo. Where,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can ask
So,
her where they had those made and kind of get an idea on what those would cost if we had them made.
And are you talking Jackie Rickmeyer?
Yes.
Didn't she make them?
I didn't, not towards the end, she wasn't.
Oh, because she has something that she can print.
Yeah,
stuff
she
with,
had,
too.
well, she had like the t-shirt business
Oh, yeah.
thing, but, not anymore.
Okay.
so we had 33 different ads in 2018, and they ranged from $25 to $200. I will say in the sheet, in my records here, the majority of these were $25.
Right. Which, I mean, if that's all they can afford, it's still,
Oh, exactly.
You know.
Exactly. But I think, I don't know, I just think that you need to put some numbers there as to this is platinum, this is gold, this is silver, whatever.
yeah, actually, I thought Josie was worked on a letter to present to him when you went to talk to him. Didn't she write up a letter? She
She
did.
sent it out to us.
Yeah, let
Yeah.
me look at my computer real quick and see if I see it here.
So you must have that somewhere, Jess.
It might be
A letter
on
to the business people about sponsoring the fair or
Okay.
sponsor or whatever.
And I can make up a form of some sort too, like once we figured out the levels and the amount of sponsorship for each one,
Mm-hmm.
that you would take around with you.
Mm-hmm. So I guess if we all kind of have an idea, we could maybe write something up and send it to Jess, and you could look at all of them and see what's
Yeah.
Kinda,
pick the best parts out of each.
Yeah,
Could maybe try that.
and I'll have Jackie send me our baseball ones too.
Okay.
Because she has all sorts of forms and flyers.
Right.
Had it pretty well organized for us to do that.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go back to the motion and the second and vote on that, and then from here to the next meeting, we'll send Jessica what we think should be sponsorship levels
Yeah.
and amounts, and then we can make that determination
Mm-hmm. And I'll try to have a
after we get
superintendent
that.
meeting.
Yeah, okay. And we'll just email back and forth. Is it acceptable to approve that level without an actual meeting?
You're just trying to decide your dollar amounts for the,
Right,
Mhm.
I think that's fine.
okay. Okay,
Okay, I found that letter. Let's see. It is dated, oh no, it's not dated. I've got a hard copy of it here. And the fair donation receipt, there's nothing for levels in there.
okay.
Yeah. I think we were just going to let it be up to them what they want to donate.
Yeah.
And we talked about it before. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll determine the levels after this meeting and send ideas to Jessica, and then she can put them together and email them back to us and say, what's your thoughts? Okay, so the motion on the floor is to ask for sponsorship for the fair entertainments. All those in favor say aye. All those
Aye.
opposed? Same sign. Okay, the motion carries. Okay, anything else on Fairbook, Jessica?
I have kind of started going through and just updating dates.
Okay.
And I guess that's it. You guys usually go through it with the superintendents, is that right?
Yeah, if
Each-
there's something they need to change. They haven't looked at it for so long, they probably, because we did do some changing.
Okay,
Yeah.
yep, and so, is that the only people who, I guess, if you go through them for your superintendent meeting, if you let me know when that is,
Yeah.
I'll get you a copy or email all the superintendent's
Yeah.
a copy?
Okay, I have.
You have,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
And then just any changes that need to be made, I changed the address, so mailed to this address now. We're kind of slowly changing things that come here to be mailed to 416 instead of 515. And then I went through and changed all the dates. And it has everything about the concert in here. And so I kind of just reworded it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't think that there was a lot of things to change.
Mhm.
Once we get the talent and schedule ironed out, then we'll have to put that new one in there, but it looks like it's gonna be pretty easy to update, I think, yearly.
Okay.
Oh yeah, also, some of the entertainment last year was Sheree Moldenhauer doing a stock dog demo in the arena. Do you remember that? That was in the fair book. So I didn't know if that's
You
something.
might want to scratch that one out.
And then Illeal Family Band, it said in there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I could ask him, but
And then there was a Dylan Wolf and a Scraggly Beard.
oh, I forgot that he was, I don't even know if he's still here. Maybe take those out for now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll definitely update them with
yeah,
everyone who we do.
okay.
But yeah, so I guess if you think of anything added, that you want added or edited in here, just let me know. I've just been kind of doing a little bit of it at a time, so.
Would you mind resending that fair book out to us,
Mhm.
email, just so we can review it? Because I'm trying to remember where mine is at.
I just saw mine in there.
Okay,
Yep, I can do that.
okay. Any other new business? Okay, seeing none, let's set a meeting, what, 2 months, in 2 months? Will that work? Or would you like to have one sooner than that, Jessica?
Say February. I don't know what your
I think,
timeline usually is.
I think we better meet again in March, because we have a lot of stuff to do between now and then.
Okay.
I would
I'm gonna
agree.
I'm gonna change my screen so that we can look at our meeting room calendar. So we can still hear you, Lisa, but we're looking at the calendar. For
What's
the
that?
meeting. I said we can still hear you, but we can't see you right now, so.
Oh,
I'm looking at the calendar for the room. So we want Thursdays. So this
probably
is
the
March.
best.
No, that's February. Okay. That's what we're looking for in March, so guess just off the 25th.
Eighteenth.
I'm good. I'm open whenever.
The only Thursday that I cannot meet is the 4th.
So are you looking at doing a superintendent's meeting between now and then?
We better, yeah.
Okay.
Can we use this building, or,
Yeah, because it's part of fair, right? It's part of county fair.
What's that?
They can use this building for the superintendent meeting?
Sure.
Okay.
You bet. Yeah.
So the 18th, we think, for us?
I think so.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys usually have it on the second Tuesday, is that what you've normally been doing?
Usually try to do the second Tuesday.
Do you want to do the 11th? That was open, right?
The only reason I'm asking is Jessica and I were talking about, we're trying to get a standard
Second Thursday. you mean?
meeting date that all of our boards meet.
Okay.
Um,
So the second Thursday of the month?
Whatever you guys decide.
That's fine. If we make it to state, I won't be here. We have to make it, but.
Which might be good too, because then, I mean, if the rodeo board has a board meeting, that will have been
Right.
that Monday. So,
So we're changing it to the 11th instead of the 18th?
Yeah, because we usually try to have it on the
Second.
Second, and it just, last month, it just didn't work out.
I was
That-
quarantined.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Life happens.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll try to get the superintendents. They like to meet during the day, so I don't,
Well, when we're done here, maybe if you want, we can look at that schedule
Okay.
and you can kind of get an idea or of what days during the day are open in here.
Yeah. Because Tuesdays during the day probably aren't bad, but Tuesday you have a 4-H meeting in
In
here.
the evening,
Yeah.
second Tuesday of the month.
Mhm.
You
And
could
then-
potentially meet back there.
Yeah,
though.
we can always
They're
use the
in
back
here,
room too, if this
Oh,
room is.
because there's
being
not
used.
that many
There's
of
a,
you, so.
there's
Right.
a big table back there,
Oh.
you could fit
Okay.
6 people around
Yeah,
ourselves.
that's true, yeah. Eventually,
Okay.
this room will be another little conference room too, once we get that sorted out, so.
Yeah,
Neat.
Okay. So our next meeting will be March 11th at 7 PM in this room. Okay. No further business. This meeting is adjourned.